Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the channel. Today we will be practicing drawing the ever popular Thor or the mighty Thor. Now, to begin, let us get the pencil in hand and let us begin forming our, with very light strokes, an arc like that, an arc like that, oval, so intersecting, arc, oval right there, circle, circle, arc, circle, arc, and a circle. And similarly right here, arc, circle, arc, circle. Now those will be his arms, that is his torso, and his head is going to go somewhere here. So an oval right there. I'm not doing a full-bodied version today. This is a bit quicker, a bit easier. So if you have those lines down, so again, circles, arcs, oval, oval, arc, circle, circle, arc, circle, and circle. And now what we are doing with this is we are basically going to draw our sculpt over this. There is no set rule. I would actually go for the body. Again, very light strokes. They can be a little heavier than the graph lines we put down. And so this is also a time when it helps to actually have some. Again, I do believe in Google, and I'm just mentioning that some Google images of Thor will help. But if you choose to just go from your imagination, from scratch, that is a very, very exciting way to go about this. So if you see here, I have chosen to go with that kind of anatomy. Clenched fist and a clenched fist here as well. That will also serve an additional purpose. And then let's get some more anatomy going there. Arc, so the chest somewhere around there. Okay, and let's round that off with that belt and that tunic. Now, what are we going to do with this? If it's Thor, the essential part is throwing in that cape. I would actually throw that cape in right about now, because, and again, it's another set of rough lines. But if you notice, I threw the cape in here. I'm not going to go here yet, because we want to make sure that that part of the cape is behind the head. So what are we doing with the head next? Arc, 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 arc. One solid line going right through. You can make his face in a variety of ways there, and he has all those different helmets. I seem to recall a particular one recently from the, well, not very recent actually. This one is it's about a few years ago, but it was one of my favorites, done by the very famous Oliver Coipel, who was doing J. Michael Straczynski's Thor. Now this is not that particular Thor, but this is let's give him those bands like right now, what you call them, like Thor bands. Now that I have that face in place, we can play around with the rest of the cape right there, and then we can definitely round off some of that face going forward with this. So I'm actually doing an amalgam of look and costume, and that is what art is really about. You do not have to necessarily mimic any particular costume or style when you are practicing, except that, I mean, if you are actually drawing for publishing, or if you are doing something that is something like a commission. If somebody wants something exact, there's our handle there for the hammer, and I would just put in loosely a strap right there. I'm going to shade that bit under his voluminous chin. And then, of course, there are the essential Thor wings. Now here you can go very roughly to lay them down. These ones can be dark, and in between them you could just put in some shading, or as you say, feathering, whatever you would like to call it. Some shade right there, and then I have kept his arms according to the classic versions without chainmail. I always felt that was a little redundant, that he already had enough like metal on him, but then they gave him chainmail to rechannel all that lighting. I do not know how that works. Maybe he's a mystical guy, so I guess their rules, scientific rules, do not necessarily apply. But there's that one closed fist, and again I would recommend that we Google lots of images as we are going forward with a drawing like Thor's. Again, the belt, variety of things that you can like do with this. So the important thing again is Mjolnir, his enchanted hammer. Again, the look, the size, it varies according to even from artist to artist. So I've chosen this mallet. This is a very basic and core look right there. If you just add some crosshatch here and there, you will have some sort of enchanted hammer going there. And then basically you have all the elements down there. And there's that flowing tunic, and behind him right here the cape folds, the flowing cape. So that is the sketch in itself, and of course as you go you will be putting in some shading here and there for the helmet, into the face, into the cape folds right there. They will be the shadows. So you have to determine again like where the shadow is falling in his case. Of course a bit of that face will be overshadowed with that cape of his. Again, under there, some shadow right there. Some of it right there to better highlight the anatomy. And again, I am going very quickly with this, so there is not necessarily a precision in everything, but again we are practicing here, and there's that little tint for that metallic bit. Again, shadow coming in from the body, shadow falling on the cape, and as you're doing that you leave some lines in between, some white in between, and that just helps give it a little more detail. Now here we are learning to do this without the advantage of something like Photoshop, and that is where you get, if you have that or any drawing software, you will find the going much more easy. It's just a matter of mastering the tools in there, and you can feel more comfortable in making mistakes. But this is the more, in my estimate, in any case, it's still the more challenging medium when you are doing freehand, and I would strongly recommend doing a whole lot of practice on this before moving to something like digital artwork, because it will give you that sense of perspective to keep control of whatever you're trying to work with. It will also teach you to make mistakes and somehow certain times actually use shortcuts to fix them. All artists do it, and I have seen quite a few tutorials there. So as you've seen that I've been working with a whole lot of inks there. Inks as in I just primarily used three tools. A common marker, a regular lead pencil, and then of course this permanent thicker marker to round off some of that ink that I wanted to put in. Again, the rules that we are using, you and I, are not necessarily the same. They can be different. You can do it in many different ways, but here is one very quick way to put down a Thor drawing with some detail. So we have done it from scratch with the basic skeleton, with the basic sketch, with some basic inks right there. And again, the most important thing once you have all that down is the details, and those you can keep building on as much as you wish. Again, it's everybody's preference here will be different as to how much detail you would like to put in to the character that you are drawing, and how much shadow and how much texture he has to have. But some cross hatching always works, and in this Thor drawing I would recommend the cross hatching around all the key shaded elements. And as you know, the rule is, and we will be restating this very often, that when you're doing crosshatch, it is best if it is flowing in the direction of the body of that shape. In the case of Mjolnir, no, not necessarily, because you could go this way and it won't look as good except with this random crosshatch, because it gives that stone-like effect. So there we have it, a very basic, quickly done Thor drawing. And for more clarification, it's I know that I do not have lightning strike going in here, because that would be a slightly more advanced thing, but you could always put in these into his costume, and that is again your preference. if you wish. In that case, they would also be here, and you could either like use some white to put them in, but not necessary. And this is only practice, but here is one quick way of doing it. I hope that this was of some help. Please do keep in touch. We will be posting more videos. I hope you have fun practicing drawing different versions of Thor. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.